that man bleeds for everything. And I think that that is the best thing you can have in a director.
Theaters are always going to be theaters, and the experience of going and getting out of the house and paying for a ticket and buying the popcorn and getting a snack and sitting in a theater with a group of people is an experience that really is where this whole industry started.
I hope that both of you are doing well in the midst of all this chaos. Movies are a great escape during times like this, and so before we get into Marked Men, do either of you have any comfort movies that you watch during difficult times?
Whenever I come home from traveling a lot, or if I'm sick or anything, I watch as many Harry Potter movies as I can. Or I did that. I've done that as bonding experience with cast. I make them watch Harry Potter with me. That's a good one.
Jace, what about you?
So it's Step Brothers. Just
Nice.
never go wrong with a good Will Ferrell, John C. Riley moment.
Nice. Well, great choices all around. So, Marked Men is a popular book series. Chase, book fans can be quite rabid when it comes to character detail. How do you separate audience expectations with what you personally want to do with Rule as a character?
I mean, I think this is my second time diving into like the adaptation space. And I think that the big difference is you have so much source material with a book and you can create your own world in your own head. And everybody is entitled to that own experience. And that's the beauty of reading a book is you get your own interpretation of it. So I think allowing myself to not feel an immense pressure to be entirely tied to the source material. And I think, Sydney can also sort of attest to this. Jay Cronover, the, incredible human who wrote this book, she was very hands-on in the process. So her approval was sort of the be all for us. So when she saw Rule and Shaw come to life through us, she was super happy with it. So I think when the person who initially created the idea of this world, when you get the okay there, then I think that's sort of the beautiful starting point.
Well, and Sydney, for something like this, are you pulling from just the script or are you using the books to help inform Shaw a little more?
I think I initially leaned on the book a lot before we started filming, just because that was all I had. And of course, I used the script. And then as we got into filming, I sort of like had to let go of it and just be on set and be present and listen to Nick, the director, and listen to what Chase was giving me, because you can't, if you hold on to your prep too much, sometimes you get like locked into things that you don't need to be locked into. That's the last thing you want, I think, in a scene, and being a scene partner, and you don't want to feel closed off or like you made these choices and this is exactly how you want the scene to go. So I think I leaned on the book a lot in the beginning to sort of get a good foundation for what I felt was Shaw. And then I had to let that go and just sort of trust the process that I had her and she was safe with me, and just sort of did the scenes as I felt present at the time.
Marked Men, Rule and Shaw will be out in theaters on January 22nd and 23rd. We've seen these limited theatrical windows pop up more frequently these days, and I've always felt that they provide opportunities for smaller movies that are often pushed to streaming. Chase, how valuable is it to have a theatrical run in this day and age?
The streamers are such a great platform, and I've been very, very fortunate to have a home at Netflix. But theaters are always going to be theaters, and the experience of going and getting out of the house and paying for a ticket and buying the popcorn and getting a snack and sitting in a theater with a group of people is an experience that really is where this whole industry started. And I'm such a fan of going to the theater and watching a movie. So I think not only is it necessary as an artist to take that step, but I think it's just an exciting time, to get off the streaming platforms and to get into theaters. So very excited to take the leap and to do it with somebody like Sid, who's brought this character to life in such an incredible way. Like this, it's the perfect opportunity to kind of jump into that space.
Is there any added pressure for you both when you're making a romance that's directed by the same guy who made The Notebook?
Uh,
Go.
I think no. Like when you get to know Nick, he is the most lovable, gentle human being. He's definitely physically intimidating at first. He's
Really a gentle giant. He's 6'6", tatted, neck down, but the sweetest man ever.
He knows his way around the human heart, and I think he's the perfect person to embody this category. So I think going on this journey with him, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Sid, but it felt incredibly safe. And there was no need to like be in the compare and contrast world with the Notebook. It was its own thing in its own way. And I think it's an honor to work with somebody like him. He's such a badass.
Well, and from like My Sister's Keeper to God is a Bullet, he makes such drastically different films. Sydney, what was Nick like as a director?
He is, like you just mentioned, My Sister's Keeper, Two God is a Bullet. That is Nick to a T. He's like ultra sensitive, gentle giant to crazy man that I love so much. He's incredibly polarizing in person, and he just like when he comes up and he gives you notes, he has three daughters, and he was telling me about his daughters, and he literally just started crying, giving me these notes. Like tears are streaming down this man's face, and it was like a very normal, not super emotional scene at all, but just like talking about his kids. It just like when he does things, they mean so much to him, and everything hits him in the heart so hardcore that it just like that man bleeds for everything. And I think that that is the best thing you can have in a director.
Well, Chase, you had to wear a bunch of fake tattoos to play Rule. Did you get to pick those out, and did you have any favorites?
No, I mean, I got to see them pretty early in the process. Zach, who's one of our producers, he actually did the tattoos. He's an incredible artist. So when you have somebody who's able to bring those type of pieces of art to life and you get to wear them, it's kind of the coolest thing on planet Earth. But it was a process. It was like 3.5 hours of staying entirely still and letting multiple people put them on every day. But no, not a whole lot of say in what they were or placement. But it was just it's fun, you know, like to do the physical embodiment of a character to that extent is very cool.
I saw that you also got to do tattoo training. How did that go?
Terrible.
Bad, so
Yeah.
not good.
Oh,
Adam,
Sydney, you got to as well?
No, I just watched it and
Oh,
it was a
watched.
wreck.
yeah, Adam, who plays Jasper in the film, he let all of us tattoo him, and I he's very kind about it and says he doesn't regret it, and it was a great.
Oh no, he tells me he regrets it. He tells me.
Yeah,
He won't
saying,
tell me.
saying that because I play pretend for a living. I'm not a tattoo artist, and I learned that in real time.
Well, I mean, that's why you're an actor and not a tattoo artist. It's okay. We all have to learn those things. It sounds like the cast really bonded when filming over in Bulgaria. Sydney, what was that experience like for you?
That was so lovely. I had just come off a set that year where I was so incredibly close with the two main boys. And everybody told me on set, like, you're never going to find that again. Like, it is so not normal to be close with your cast. At the end of the day, they're your coworkers. You go, you do your job, and you go home. So having a close cast is pretty rare. And the fact that I got it twice in 2 years was like unbelievable for me. Everybody there made me feel so safe and loved. And me being the youngest one there, like everybody was always checking on me and making sure I was okay and making sure I had what I needed. And I just felt very, very taken care of there. And literally anybody in the cast I could have gone to called in the middle of the night and they would have talked to me for an hour, you know?
Well, and based on the ending of this film, it seems like there's more in store for this series. Have you two heard any rumblings of a sequel?
The fifth on that one. The best way to describe it is it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but make it romance.
Yeah,
And
they're
all of these characters are fun, and you get like a glimpse into each of them a little bit in this film. And so I think it'd be awesome to continue to tell the stories that Jay started with, and I think Nick did such an incredible job of setting it up with Rule and Shaw. So wherever it goes, I think it'd be super exciting to keep telling the story.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.